One of my viewers asked me to read Aesop's Fables, and I got one that is retold and illustrated by Brad Sneed. And there's a lot in here, so I probably will read these in two sections, one with the first half and one with the second. The Tortoise and the Eagle. "You flyers have all the fun," a tortoise lay in the dirt, whining to the birds soaring overhead. "It's not fair. You float with the clouds. I scrape over the rocks. You have the wind in your feathers. I have dust in my nose. Oh, won't any of you teach me to fly?" An eagle was hovering nearby. "What's in it for me if I teach you to fly?" "Well, I'm rich," said the tortoise. "I'll trade you half my gold for flying lessons." "Prepare for takeoff," said the eagle as he hooked his talons into the tortoise shell and pumped his wings. The eagle lifted the tortoise up, up, up above the clouds and promptly let go. The tortoise closed her eyes and the wind whistled in her ears. "I'm flying," she yelled. "We call that falling," answered the eagle. The tortoise opened her eyes and saw jagged rocks below. "Landing lessons! Oh, I'll trade the rest of my gold for landing lessons!" And be careful what you wish for is the purpose of that story. The Fighting Rooster and the Eagle. Two roosters battled in the barnyard. They kicked and slashed, gouged and pecked in a flurry of feathers and dust, until one, bruised and battered, cried uncle and slunk off to a quiet corner. The other flapped to the top of the high wall to declare his triumph and claim his prize, king of the farmyard. He crowed at the top of his lungs so all would hear. "Behold your new king, the undisputed champ of the yard." He strutted the entire length of the wall, bobbing his head and puffing his plumes. "I am the greatest fighter ever to grace this here chicken run. I'm fast, strong, smart, and good-looking. Anybody wants to say different, step up now and prepare for a whooping. What? Nobody wants a piece of me? I'll take a piece." An eagle soaring high above noticed the spectacle below and sailed down to pluck the cocky bird off the wall. Nothing I like better than a juicy piece of chicken. The new king stepped out of the corner and quietly watched the eagle fly away with lunch clutched in his talons. Pride goes before a fall. The Fox, the Rooster, and the Dog. One night, a hungry fox was prowling around a farm. In the moonlight, he saw a fat rooster snoozing on a high ledge. Good news," he barked, loud enough to wake the rooster. What? Why? Who? What news?" stammered the sleepy bird. "King Lion has issued a proclamation," said the wily fox. "There's to be a truce among the animals. No creature may harm another. We are all family and must live together in harmony. Come on down and give me a hug, brother rooster." "Oh, glory be! That is wonderful news," crowed the rooster. "And what good timing! Look, the farmer's dog is coming over the hill. We three can party together." The fox turned quickly to leave. "But, Mr. Fox, where are you going? Won't you stay and greet Mr. Dog on this happy occasion?" "Oh, I would, to be sure," said the fox over his shoulder, "but I'm afraid Mr. Dog may not have heard King Lion's command." Cunning often outwits itself. Belling the cat. Everyone knows that cats and mice are enemies, but what you may not know is long ago the mice gathered to discuss how to outsmart their crafty foe, the cat. One young mouse stood and addressed the crowd. "I think we can all agree that Mr. Cat is a sneak. He creeps close on padded paws, then silently strikes. How many of our kind, rest their souls, have had their lights snuffed out without the slightest inkling that danger was a whisker away? I propose, therefore, that we acquire a small bell and attach it to the wretched beast. Then, whenever we hear tinkling, we know to lay low." The suggestion was met with wild applause and whistles and hoots of approval from the crowd of mice, until one very old and well-respected mouse stood and raised his arm. "Very well," he said. "Who among us will bell the cat? Any volunteers?" All heads turned to the young mouse, who quietly lowered his eyes and sat on his hands. It is easy to propose impossible remedies. The Fox and the Crow. A crow flapped to a tree, where she prepared to munch on a hunk of cheese she had found, when she was interrupted by a voice from below. "Hey, good-looking, what a beautiful chick like you, doing in a dangerous forest like this." The startled crow looked down to see a fox sitting under her branch. She wanted to say, "I'm a crow, not a chicken," but she had breakfast of cheese, so she merely blushed and cocked her head, the way crows do. The fox's eyes gleamed. He had a plan to get that cheese. No, I meant it. You are a raving beauty." The crow wanted to say, "I'm a crow, not a raven, you silly." But as I said before, she was holding cheese in her mouth. So she giggled and turned away. Being a crow, she wasn't used to someone going on about her looks. Honestly, the fox really turned on the charm now. The sparkle in your eyes, the ruffle of your feathers. I mean, wow. That pretty much says it. Wow. If only. The crow blinked and raised an eyebrow, waiting for the fox to go on. "If only," the fox continued, "you had a voice as glorious as your looks. Then you would, without a doubt, be queen of the birds." The crow, forgetting for a moment that she was in fact a crow, opened her beak, expecting to sing like a nightingale. What came out was a loud caw. More important, the piece of cheese, which bounced once and came to a rest at the fox's feet. The fox trotted away, tail swinging. He would have said, "My dear Miss Crow, you have a voice, all right, but not much of a brain." But he had a mouthful of cheese. Flatterers are not to be trusted. The Crow in the Pitcher.
Golly, I'm parched."
A crow was flying over a dry, barren land.
"I'm doomed if I don't find some water soon."
Then, as fate would have it, she spied a pitcher, of all things, sitting among a pile of rocks and pebbles.
"Oh, please, 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 let there be water," she pleaded.
The crow perched on the pitcher and peeked in. Sure enough, it contained water.
"Oh, hallelujah,"
she exclaimed, and thrust her head in, anxious for a taste. But, confound it, the pitcher's neck was so long and narrow she couldn't reach the liquid. Desperate for a drink, she tried to tip the pitcher. She leaned against it and pushed. It didn't budge. She kicked it. It didn't move. She picked up a pebble and pecked at the pitcher. Its clay walls were thick. It didn't crack. The clever crow didn't give up. She hopped to the pitcher top and dropped in the pebble. Bloop. She added another. Bloop. She picked up more pebbles and dropped them one by one into the pitcher. Blink, blunk, bloop. Each pebble the crow added raised the water level in the pitcher. After many pebbles, at last she dipped her dusty beak and took a long drink. Necessity is the mother of invention. And this will be the last one for today. The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. Country Mouse and her Town Mouse guest sat down to dinner at the edge of a plowed field. The Country Mouse gnawed on a wheat steed. Dig in, she insisted, offering her friend a clod-covered root. The Town Mouse brushed dust from his whiskers and turned up his nose. Excuse me, cousin, but this is ant food. Let's blow this hayseed stand and get a real meal. He grabbed his friend's hands. To town and a taste of the sweet life. After a long walk, the pair finally skinnied under Town Mouse's back door. They crept down a dark hall to a grand dining room and shimmied to the top of a grand table. There the remains of a feast lay before them. "Ah, behold," said the Town Mouse, arms outstretched. "Mother of plenty!" exclaimed Country Mouse, swallowing hard. Loud barking interrupted the sprint for the chocolate cake. "Well, what's that?" hissed Country Mouse. "Oh, only the dogs of the house," replied Town Mouse. "Only?" cried Country Mouse. "Goodbye, cousin." What? Leaving so soon?" asked the other. "Oh, yes," she replied. "Why munch on cake only to become a dog's dessert?" Better to munch on grain in safety than to nibble on cake in fear. And we'll read the rest of it tomorrow. Good night. I love you.